Hello and welcome to Anuki TV. I am Anuki, and it's a company of heroes timecast thing ball cannon where we do a 2v2 on Wolfheze with mixed factions this time around, because I know some of you have been wanting me to do British, even though I hate British so much, even though I am British as well. Oh god, so unpatriotic of me. So our British player for today is Deadbolt. That's with a 0, not an O. What a cunning plan he is. And oh yeah, he's AFK like a boss. 2v1, no problem. So much confidence there. Maybe because he's going to blob up like a Brit fag. Like a Brit fag. Ah, I'm on to you. He's building a lieutenant and getting that HQ picked up off the ground. And there's Morello actually moving away now. Morello is his teammate, by the way. Babbity boopity boop. He is not mad, bro. I'm not mad. Anyway, moving on to their opponent. Before those early engagements take place, we have SOL Yunil. SOL Misty from Pokemon there. Playing company of heroes as well. Great story, so mad. Just paying attention to the chat because in the last game of Anuki TV, by the way, I was on webcam and I was so nervous. I did not feel right and comfortable doing that. And I know I've done some of it on Men of War as well. I'm basically just messing around with technology, having a little bit of a play around because I like to do that sort of stuff. But it is sort of like a training ground to me. I just want to boost up my confidence, make sure I feel more confident when I do these casts, because that's kind of important when you cast games, is to have confidence in yourself, because name any caster out there which doesn't seem to have confidence in themselves. And I feel like I'm faking this confidence. I'm honestly not like this in person. Maybe I'm pretty sure I'm a complete and utter twat in person and very, very arrogant and ignorant and all sorts of bad stuff. Maybe, I don't know. I hate everybody at uni. Oh, I hated everybody at uni. Anyway, coming back to commentating this game and not my personal life. Grenadiers doing pretty okay. They had the battle up here over this fuel point. Unfortunately, the HQ wasn't able to settle down. A Bren carrier is coming out. Motorcycle is here gunning away some of the engineers. 50% life for them, but we have some more engagements back here. Nope, Kettenkred is getting out of there. Currently, most of the eastern section of the map has not been captured, but that shouldn't be a problem for this Kettenkred. It does look like it's going that way now. Victory point not captured yet. Machine gunner not decided where. No, that is capturing the victory point. A bit of an odd choice. It's going to settle down. Maybe the pioneers will take it. Yeah, just wow, blobbing going on there already. Morello suggesting a mortar. Mortar would be nice if they can get a mortar pit. The British can put a mortar pit down, by the way. And another reason for doing this game is because I just have so little faith in the way Panzer Elite and British are played. So I figured I'd check a game out. One of the more downloaded games, see if there is actual entertainment that can be salvaged from a Brit and Panzer Elite involved game. By the way, this infantry section is hulled out in this building, but there are no windows here, so they can't fire out. They can only fire in front of here. Meanwhile, the Bren carrier from Deadbolt, that's too difficult to say, guns down the motorcycle pretty easily, but look at the amount of damage it takes from a machine gun. Even though these are vehicles, they are light vehicles, they will take damage from light arms. It does manage to get rid of the machine gunner and drive through the wooden fence as per usual. So much environmental destruction, by the way. This building has been occupied by Misty, and again, it's just pouring bullets into the building over here, and the infantry section can do note but sit there and take it. The rifle infantry section with the lieutenant's capping the fuel point. I guess it wants to delay any sort of tech there, but unfortunately it's being gunned down all too quickly. It does go down. Oh, that's kind of expensive to lose. The infantry section is now just holding out behind whatever these are called, some part of a train. I know that much. You can stick things on top of them and then they carry away and go choo-choo. Things like that, and now the rifleman section from Morello. Rifleman section, infantry section, this is going to get confusing the entire game. I'm not used to this at all, but great flanking there, some sandwiching maneuvers. Hopefully the rifleman section come in and capture that center now, but it looks like all of the axis have just been removed from the center. Wow, full retreat there from the Axis. Great play so far from the Allies. They're even moving in to capture some of this territory. Always moving in to capture, always applying pressure to areas where just just everywhere. You know, poke holes in the enemy's defense, find out what's going on. If there's nothing there, then it's free territory to capture, and then what you can do is force them to move around the map and not be where you are, I suppose. I mean, think about it. If they're off here capping, then they've got one less squad to come and fight you here, so you can gain a lot more control over the map and just put more defenses down. And often I see people forget that they have stuff like sandbags and barbed wire and don't use it, but that's probably because they're doing so much stuff already. It is hard to try and get stuff like that down and continue applying pressure. We have this armoured car up here from Misty now, which is going to take down the Bren carrier pretty easily, maybe even wipe out this flamethrower squad. That would be unfortunate. It is focusing it, but it manages to get out of distance, just enough out of distance. I don't know where I was going with that, but I managed to get somewhere, so we'll end that discussion. Riflemen are being pounded by the armoured car. The Bren carrier is doing some damage to the armoured car. I did not realise that that would be so effective, but maybe it works two ways. Maybe both of them are able to kill each other pretty effectively. The Kettenkred has been spotted, and the Bren carrier gives chase to it, but hopefully it doesn't run head-on in and get itself killed by the armoured car. It is being repaired. Riflemen doing some long-range engagement against the Panzer Grenadiers. We're going to move back and maybe repair? Maybe reinforce? Yeah, okay, they're going to reinforce, which is a good idea, but it's still looking pretty bleak at the moment for the Axis, who just, at the moment, haven't responded, but they aren't fielding much forces. I mean, we have, what, like 2 Grenadier squads out. We now see a pack out, which is the only thing that can really target at the moment is the Bren carrier. No vehicles so far. They can move it up and try and eliminate some of these headquarter buildings. The field support truck is there on the northern side of the map, where it is generating a bit of extra fuel. Bren carrier moves down to take care of the Kettenkred. It seems like that Bren carrier has a solid duty now. Deadbolt just wants to take care of the Kettenkred with the Bren and try and move out of the way of this. And wow, just look at the damage that the Bren carrier does on that. Did not realise that was such a suitable counter, but it is. Honestly, I would have thought the armoured car would have won that one, but okay, whatever you say, game, whatever you say. Oh, the pack gets a wonderful shot on that. Too bad I missed the explosion, but I did get the bodies falling from the sky. Sandbags going up here, even though there's sandbags here. Ah, God, you've got to have choices, got to have some picky decisions to go on. But the armoured car is now gunning down all the riflemen. Very light arms fire, not doing too much damage on that. If it keeps at max distance, it should be okay and do a lot of damage. They are hiding behind heavy cover. No repairs going down. We do have the defense upgrade, by the way, on the armoured car from Misty. Meanwhile, where's his teammate? Nowhere to be seen. He's got double packs out. Double packs? Really? Why? Why double packs? I don't know. Oh, we have an M8 armoured car, but double packs? Really? Is that really necessary? It only took 1 pack to take care of that. And I think that armoured car was silly. It was a silly Billy. I don't know why it did that. It was just kind of hanging around in open fire. It wasn't immobilized at all. A Stuart tank comes out from Deadbolt, spraying its shotgun blast. Oh, I love the shotgun blast. It's one thing I love about the Brits is this tank. It just... What is that? I can't imagine that as a weapon in World War II. A shotgun tank? Are you serious? It seems kind of bizarre. I mean... let's write that off. I don't know what the hell the British were thinking with that tank, if it even exists. It must exist because this game is super realistic. Of course, we got some Panzerschrecks out, which means we're gonna probably see more Panzerschrecks. If I see someone get a Panzerschreck, it usually means, especially when they've got 2 packs, it's just like super anti-armor go. All anti-armor from there. I don't know why. Some weird glitch on my screen happened there, and an explosion. That was a Kettenkred that went down. The armoured car, I don't know why that's hanging around there. It doesn't want to mess around with a Stuart light tank, no way. The infantry section in this building is getting pounded pretty hard from the Panzerschrecks, making holes in the buildings, as well as the packs and the armoured cars and the machine guns and everything else. It's very defensive at the moment from the Axis. They're not really holding much territory at the moment, and really they've got to be making the aggressive sort of style of play now We've got snipers moving up. We've got so much heavy cover for the infantry. No bars, by the way, from Morello. He went weapon support, as you can see right there, because maybe we're going to see some mortars out. We did see a request for mortars early on in the game. So, I don't know, maybe there was some sort of plan change in the comms that they're using. If they're using comms, I don't know. It's most likely in team games that you should be using something like TeamSpeak and Mumble. And if you're not, then what the hell are you playing at in team games? No, go and find a partner with comms. Armored car doing some reversal tactics, where I suppose if you reverse towards your target, you can make a quicker getaway. I suppose that might be the plan. Maybe it's just a missed micro. I don't know. You can see he's putting more in defense. And 23 kills on this armored car. It does hit a mine. That's bad news for it. But honestly, they've almost eliminated quite a few squads here. We've got 3 squads on the brink of death. They're going to sit there at max range, but they are taking some peat fire, which means they are going to have to back away and be a lot more cautious with them. They are low health themselves. Stuart Tank comes in to back up the infantry, which is just really pinned down behind this. They can reinforce, but I'm not seeing the reinforcing going up. Reinforce! Dude, where's the action going on? Where are you microing this lieutenant like a boss? Yeah, fire that pistol. Go on. Yeah, do a roll. Do a barrel roll. It's only Pioneers. Come on. Oh, look at the sound of that gun. He's being sniped. He just takes a bullet. He doesn't care about that. He's going to shrug it off. He's got a protective hat. Come on. Go on, hit. He's over there. Oh, come on. Stop missing, dude. Ah, he gets out of there. You're a traitor to the Rebel Alliance. You hear me? Swear allegiance to your empire. Damn it. Anyway. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to thwart the Pioneers from capping this victory point, which means it's now 2 victory points to 1 in favor of the Axis. No idea why I went singing mood there, but until some action goes down, I'm going to put in some commentary delay tactics where I speak very slowly. Come on, move it, move it, move it! Los, los, los. I still don't know what los means, but it sounds cool, doesn't it? Sounds like you're there to murder many people and not give a damn and be like, this is my territory, and come on, somebody fight already. We've got an infantry half-track. No, mortar half-track. You can't reinforce from this one. It does have incendiary rounds, which is really painful. I hope that's what we're going to see on this building. Yeah, wow, that was a serious delay there, but no, not incendiary rounds. They do have some serious impact. We have a 25-pounder being built, and that really has a delicious sound to it. And hopefully it's going to be hitting around here. It does miss, taking rid of some of these climbing apparatus. Destroying, the training program for the Panzer Grenadiers is going to shambles as they move in and just take a full frontal assault. Look at everyone around these, but oh god, the mortar, some of the shrapnel just flies into the window, into their faces. That was definitely not delicious, not like the 25-pounder, but it's all a matter of perspective. What a pathetic grenade throw there from the Grenadiers. You knew, what were you doing? Why? We've got some epic flamethrower action. Apparently engineers are the way to lead a charge, whereas the riflemen sit back here and in their cowardice fire from a long range, and these guys still haven't been reinforced, by the way. I'm not sure what Deadbolt is thinking behind that. Maybe it's just, again, microing somewhere elsewhere. The Stuart Tank is still alive and kicking. 7 kills, though. Definitely not scratching anywhere near what the armored cars have, but and is microing around the packs. That's good news. Only one more guy to kill. Hopefully one of these soldiers. There we go. They are down. It took a while to kill them. I don't know why. Now I'm feeling the effects of the chicken I just ate, and oh god, it wasn't the nicest chicken, but I ate it anyway because there was barely any food. Anyway, we've still got some machine gunners in this building. I don't know if they were there before, but I did say still, so therefore they were still there, and they are still firing. I am all-seeing God. Something along those lines. To be honest, it's very hard to keep track of all these team games, and speed hacks! Oh my god, whoa! Oh god, that's definitely worth uploading this game despite any mistakes I make now. Panzer Grenadiers are moving around for a trainee flank. Oh wow, look at the accuracy on that. They just saw guys here and instantly shot them, no problem. It seems like they want to go ahead and retreat already. Misty doesn't want to risk casualties. He's been pretty well so far, I think, on keeping his Grenadiers alive. I think we've lost a single squad. I'm sure we had 4 squads around at some point, maybe even a 5th, but for the moment he's done well to keep the armoured cars alive, and that's pretty good, saying there was a universal carrier around. The Bren carrier, rather, is also sometimes known as the universal carrier, I believe, and the Stuart tank is around. Other than that, we do have Piet's squad around as well. Where did that go to? Where did the Piet... Have they really been eliminated? Is there no Piet's on the floor? Oh, poor Piet's squad. We have a mortar here as well from Unil. That is getting gunned down right this moment by the infantry section hiding behind here. No lieutenant support them, no veterancy bonus for them, which is unfortunate. We do have Vet 2 on the Grenadiers from Unil, which means... Oh, we even have Vet 1 for the mortars, which means he's put some support in there. And Vet 3! Triple defensive Triforce for Misty on his armoured car. He really likes the defensive. I wonder if he's going to get that on his assault. I know a few people have sort of like a few different ways to upgrade the Panzer Elite, and I think the one that makes the most sense is getting the attack bonus on your long-range rifles and your defensive on your assault. That way you use your assault to charge in and they absorb the damage, whilst your long-range rifles sit very safely far away and deal all the damage. They're not meant to be taking fire, so therefore, you know, why upgrade them with the defensive perk? But we see a lot of people like to just have pure defense or pure assault and ball up. There's so many things you can do with the Panzer, and I like that stuff. The only thing I dislike is just when people just say, here's my blob and here's their base, go. That really makes me feel like I have no body. It just rips me apart to see that. It's such an awesome game, and then it's just like such an easy way to be sort of semi-skilled. I mean, pros definitely can counter it. I find it kind of difficult. I'm an average, maybe above average player. At best, I'd say. I was definitely alright at Company of Heroes Online, but a few things have changed, of course, and you've heard me rattle on about this before, so at the moment I just want to say that that was awesome! Mortar took down the 80 gun in one shot. That was pretty damn spot on there for the mortar. But at the moment I'm just kind of wondering, oh god, as they try and pick up the 80 gun again, they just get hit by a mortar. But again, just because they don't have big artillery guns out doesn't mean that they can't suffer the effects of AoE weaponry. Mortars are AoE weaponry and they do hurt. So do not blob up. Blobbing up is bad. We have a Cromwell out and he is getting upgraded with the increased sight range. That's the little tank commander who will pop out here. There we go. He has his beret and his headphones. And oh, I want a beret now. I wonder how awesome I'd look in a beret. I like hats, but that's great. I like hats. Blobbing around the command center at the moment. No one's really on the field. It seems like the Axis have done well to be on the aggressive at the moment, but the British, the British and the Allies, rather, the British and the Americans, the Allies together now need to do something about this. They definitely have it's like an armor advantage, but where are those packs? Where are those packs? Did they get... Honestly, wow. The packs are gone. How did I miss that? I don't know. But there's plenty of things I'm going to miss, of course. There's one of the packs. It's way too full. It doesn't make any sense for a pack to be here. It's like almost on their side of the map. Remember, packs... Okay, sometimes they can be aggressive, like moving up to take care of a bunker, but you want to be moving them back afterwards. You don't want to leave them there for too long, because I absolutely guarantee you at some point you are going to retreat from the enemy's side of the map. And when you retreat, what you want to be doing is you want to be retreating so much as you hold the next line of defense, not all the way back to your base and suffer everyone capturing stuff. So that way you're just moving back slightly, you know, one step backward, two step forward, or two step forwards then one step backwards. That's the kind of idea. There's absolutely no way, unless it's just like a very easy, you know, you've got very easy opponents where you can just sort of like run up to their base and like control them inside their own base, but that's the rare occasion where you are not going to be retreating, and that's purely because of their mistakes, not really through any plan of your own. It seems like the Cromwell wanted to drive in and set down some artillery, so we have some artillery, maybe the howitzer shoot being called down, I believe, from the American player. and that's looking explosively good, but we have double Panther calling from Misty, firing straight into the back of the Cromwell, which is now being completely disabled and out of control. Very slow, spiraling out of control. The look on this guy, yeah, hold your hat, it's going to be one crazy explosion for you. Yep, not going to bail. I'm going to go down with the ship. Even going to fire some bullets on that building. Ah, die, everyone. I'll take as many bricks as I can before I die. Meanwhile, Fallschirmjäger's out on the field. I like Fallschirmjägers. They have the really cool sounding assault gun thing. FG42, by the way, as someone corrected me on the comments page. Because you see, I do read the comments. I am a very comment-ready person because every so often I just think, okay, I'll read a load of comments. I read all the comments and I reply to all the ones that I see, and then I think, oh crap, I need to do this on this video, or I need to be doing that, or you know, I think of something to do that needs to be done, and then I go off and do it. I mean, most often I'll be like creating music or drawing a pretty picture, and then I'm just like, I need a break. Okay, I've done Reddit, I've done this, I'll now read YouTube. So it's, you know, something to do. I find it pretty entertaining, and I like to see what people have said and all that jazz. For now, though, Armored Car's still alive with 26 kills. I'd like to see if that survives the entire game, especially surprising if it does. Double Panthers is now a cause for concern for the Americans and the British. At the moment, Morello is just kind of sandbagging up to take care of the Panthers. Pretty solid idea. I'm sure it's a pretty solid idea. We're going to have to see how this pans out. They will absorb Panther shot rounds, and the AT gun is protected. You can see it's receiving that heavy cover bonus. And if it does use its AT armor penetrating round, AT penetration armor penetrating round, I'm sure it's, I don't know, something along those lines. It will be pretty effective against Panthers. Never underestimate the armor penetrating effect of AT guns. If you can use them, if you can put infantry in front of the AT gun, then it's going to be even more protected. As long as that's protected, you're going to inflict a lot of damage. I've hovered around that subject long enough. These guys are being suppressed pretty heavily from the machine gun all the way back here. Vet free for that machine gun. A lot of investment spent into support weaponry. The half-track goes down. That was the mortar half-track, by the way. One shot from the artillery and it just gets completely neutralized, as well as the mortar. So all mortars are down for the Axis. And the Panthers trying to figure out what they want to do at the moment, just kind of running over sandbags and heavy cover. The AT gun is being remanned. They saw an opportunity to move, went for it, and then realized it got remanned, and now they're going to get out of there, get out of line of sight. Defensive upgrade going up on the Panthers. A pretty good choice at the moment, considering that there's not very much armor that can compete with a Panther. A Sherman is on the field, but it's one Sherman versus two Panthers. That will not go well at all. We have a Firefly. Firefly has exceptionally long range. You can see it's awesome, beautiful, kick-ass cannon. It's just, it's so damaging from long range. Pretty good accuracy compared to any other tank on the field in this game. Mortar still taking casualties, assuming they've been remanned, and another mortar comes out, so that has been sort of brought back into the field, that element of play, so they can continue using that on all the infantry. And it's been pretty effective the entire game. We've seen a lot of casualties been inflicted. Definitely they've made up for the manpower that they have inflicted, and that they have been spent on, that the cost that they, something like that, something. Command tank, by the way, commanding the Sherman Firefly. I can't remember the bonuses for the British, but let's just put it simply, it's a bonus. It's a buff of some sort. Maybe fortitude buff, maybe accuracy buff. Who knows? Someone get commenting away so I can learn more about the British and their ways, because at the moment I'm actually not seeing that much infantry bobbing. In fact, this guy has 9 command points and he hasn't spent a single one. Has he forgotten about that? Maybe he just hasn't decided what he wants to do with it, but at the moment he's just bombing the crap out of the middle, which is missing too much, way too much. It's a lot less accurate than that mortar. It did take out the mortar half-track and the mortar earlier on, but at the moment it's yet to yield significant results, I'd say. Not as much as the mortars. The British infantry section tried to move around this side of the map. They should have moved a bit more further. In fact, wow, this building right now If the Axis would just know about this section, I mean, they haven't even captured this area of the map yet. Remember earlier I said probe all areas of the map? Right now, if they did, they'd find out this pure gold of an assault force. They'd be able to take out the field support truck and... sure, maybe it's not being used now, maybe it might be used later, but it would at least force a response to move up to this side of the map and weaken the defensive position in the middle. I mean, that's minimal. We have a medic bunker up here from Morello, and he is infantry, definitely. We saw that howitzer shoot earlier, but we also see some rangers on the field. Saw some rangers on the field earlier, but I was too busy yabbering on about something else. Some engagements going on down here. It looks like one fine gentleman got severely gibbed before his body disappeared, by the way. Is that booby traps I see? I think that might be booby traps. If I see a Kettenkrad around, I might be able to tell what doctrine they have. You know, part of the surprise, people keep saying that, oh, can you just like switch view? And I think, no, I'm going to do it my way. I want to do this. I want every player to have their own colour because that makes it easier for me. And I like being able to find out what people have. I like the mystery. I love it. That's just how I like my games, and if that's how I like it, that's how I like it. I'm very, very sorry. Maybe I might do it on the certain occasions if I'm really, really curious, but for now, I just accept. In fact, one of the things, I know I'm going to go off on my really long tangents whilst we have this line of armor tanks. Oh my god, this looks so awesome. The Panthers, not so much in a cool formation. In fact, they're turning their side and rear armor. They want to get out of there. Just, wow, look at that Cromwell command tank is just keeping everyone in a nice formation. It looks cool. It's too bad this rifleman section isn't helping out take care of the infantry at the moment. We've got some AT grenades. No, Panzerfaust being fired into the Sherman Firefly. That is the tank that possesses the most threat to the Panthers. The command tank will be the last on the list, and the Cromwell is being gunned down now from the Panther. At the moment, it's kind of a big problem. There's that Kettenkrad being invisible at the moment. Can't really see what's on the back of it. It's kind of on fire. Surprisingly damaged engine whilst it's on stealth. I'm surprised that guy can keep his composure whilst he's on fire. Piat squad moving up to try and take a few shots. Wow, yeah, wow, long range that is, but it did miss. Middle victory point has been uncapped, by the way, so still a long way to go in this game. Lieutenant consoling the dead, and we have a mortar here, but it has been destroyed now from that explosion. I don't think it was able to be picked up earlier on. Vet 1 for this lieutenant. Good on him. At the moment, it seems to be artillery battles all the way. These tanks are going to get some repairs soon enough. 2 Shermans. That would have been nice to have into this big blob of armor earlier on. Repairs going down. Good stuff there. Riflemen moving up. They have captured the victory point. Good. Still no action on this side. Damn it. Blobbing all the way in the center. Just allies with everywhere. Oh god, this could certainly be punished if someone had Firestorm or Rocket Barrage. But we don't have that. I'm not sure what the Wehrmacht has so far, but maybe I've seen someone to give me a clue of what they have, but we'll see soon enough, maybe. We have a Panzer Command going on, being slowly built in the base. There's not too much. Seems like the Wehrmacht Center was destroyed. That's a damn pickle shame. That's good news for the Allies. That must have been destroyed very early on. So I'll pick that up on the multicam, most likely, if at all. But this blobbing is making me cry right now. Riflemen do pick up the bazooka. Good noticing that. I've seen a few players in the recent games that have not been so quick to pick up lost resource. And oh my god! The Fallschirmjägers! Really? Oh god, so many bodies here! The Fallschirmjägers did a lot of that damage, I believe. I'm going to have to check how many kills they have, but the medic is going to be collecting up on loads of those casualties. But I think most of the bodies will disappear before he gets a chance to do that. Fallschirmjägers, 2 kills for them. Ah, poor them. It must have been the Panzer Grenadier squad with the G41 rifles that took most of those kills. 9 kills for them. Kill-stealing bastards. Churchill's. Oh, we just had a command decision from the Brits. He likes his armor. He's going to continue with the armor. Even getting the Churchill Avra. I want to see an Avra. I mean, the AVRE. I will shorten it to Avra. I'm not sure, you know, how people like to prefer and say it, but doesn't. Oh, he did get the Avra. Oh yes, awesome. This is like a big, giant mortar of a tank. It's so kick-ass. You can see its short, stubby little barrel there as it fires just this huge, colossal, like nuke of a thing. It doesn't have any other guns. I think it might have like a hull machine gun. That's about it. But who cares about the whole machine gun? No one. People will happily charge into it, not giving a damn, because it does so little damage. You can see even the Shermans have their hull guns. It's that little gun right there at the bottom. Then they have a turret gun, and then they have a top-mounted machine gun. You can see the 50 cal gun there on the Sherman, just driving by, trying to get some rear shots on the Panther, but unfortunately they're driving into a load of infantry with Panzerschrecks, and this is the time where Panzerschrecks are good. They're just sort of protecting your tanks. I noticed, I said at the right on in the early game that there'll be Panzerschrecks, more and more Panzerschrecks, and that's exactly what we got. I don't know what people have against LMGs. It's not the 42s. It's like the lighter rifle. MG. I'm sure it's an MG42. Yeah, it is. Whereas the heavy machine gun, I'm not quite sure what the heavy machine gun is now, but it's definitely heavier. I know that for sure. But yeah, I like the LMG. You know, there's sometimes I think this is just too many Panzerschrecks. If you use your armor correctly, we have a King Tiger on the field, which means Mr. Yunul, don't know why I keep saying it like that, is Terror, which is going to be doing some forced retreat maybe, which is great on British infantry blobs. It's great on any blobs actually. There's the Avra firing its round, only 3 casualties. It's definitely not as good as a Stu-42, I would say, because that fires so quickly. This has a cooldown. You have to actually activate the ability manually, which is kind of a downside to the Churchill Avra, but sometimes it can really inflict a lot of damage right where you need it, at the precise time you need it. That is the advantage. It also has a lot of armor. It definitely packs way more armor than a Stu-42, and maybe even a lot of other tanks, but that's definitely something about the British Churchill tanks. There's the incendiary rounds, by the way. The Churchill isn't going to be too affected by that, but the infantry certainly are. They back away. The AT gun backs away as well. We have an M8 on the field. M8, okay, M8 would be good for like taking care of some infantry without Panzerschrecks. So I don't know what role it's going to play in the field at the moment. I mean, even these Fallschirmjägers have, oh god, even another Churchill Avra. The cooldown on that is, yeah, it is pretty damn ugly in design. The British were not known for their pretty tanks. They're pretty boxy actually. I mean, the Firefly is pretty damn cool. That is based off an American model, I think. I mean, it is a Sherman after all. At least I'm sure. My World War II facts are probably completely bogus, but honestly, you don't need to know World War II to enjoy this game. You can see for yourself that there's explosions, there's battling, there's gunning, there's grenades, there's gibbing, all that cool stuff everywhere. That is the kind of stuff I like in my games, and it's freaking awesome. End of the line of tanks now advancing. Okay, maybe there is a rule against blobs of infantry. There certainly is a rule against blobs of tanks, but I've not seen any artillery from the Axis at the moment. Oh yes, he's even putting down the sandbags on his tanks. What is it? Is this hull down ability? I think it is. Where basically they gain armor by settling down some sandbags, but he decided that was a bad command decision. So he decides to uproot that and decides to retreat back. The Wolverine is in a really good position, by the way, hiding behind all these tanks. So many XPs going off. That is a lot of casualties being inflicted by most of the artillery. I think the Churchill Avra definitely had some play in that. 70 kills there. Gets taken out by a Panzerschreck. That was a lot of damage from one measly Panzerschreck. The Panther no doubt had something to do with that as well. Panther at very low health. The Wolverine is going to try and take it. Before it dies, it is inevitably going to die. It does get a shot. The King Tiger punishes it though, so unfortunate for that, but that is significant losses for both sides. The Churchill Avra, poor Churchill Avra. I would have liked to have seen that live much longer. Unfortunate that it didn't, but for now the Allies remain in control of the centre. They are significantly blobbing in the middle, whereas the Axis are kind of blobbing up back here. There is a flak bin built right right at their base. That's
battalion has improved our HQ.
Kind of hope that that is out of range of this gun. I think it just... no, it doesn't look like it is. But if it is, if it isn't, then that's a really poor choice for a flak. Because what will happen... yeah, you can see the artillery coming down, sending those guys into better sniping positions on the building, but unfortunately they're not alive to do that. But this flak is going to get hit along with his own buildings. You don't want to be placing your defensive structures right next to your own buildings. You want to be moving them. You want to, in all honesty, anything that you have, buildings, tanks, vehicles, tanks and vehicles, they're the same thing. Infantry, just anything like that, you don't want them to be all together. There's certain times where you do, and wow, look at the line. The Allies certainly have a knack for formations. They have even a stolen pack here as well. They really like their line formations. Moving them out of the way. I was saying some earlier. What was I saying? Yeah, very few situations which cause for blobbing. Maybe where you're forced into a choke point, say like this was all barbed wired off and tank trapped off, and that was the only way you could go. Sure, maybe that would be the legitimate reason, but you want to be avoiding, you want to be reducing the chance that your enemy can just bomb the crap out of you and inflict significant amounts of damage. You want to stop them from using their stuff like the propaganda war, where they force retreat all of your stuff. That can be pretty damn annoying because it's just so easy to do. If you're blobbed up, all they have to do is press just one button and that's it. They've just effectively won a battle without having to do anything. So bear that in mind if you're playing your games. And I know I may come across as a bit of a know-it-all in these games, but honestly, there's one thing to know what you're doing. It's a complete another thing to actually do it and implement it in your games, especially when there's battling going on out like everywhere. Here comes a rocket barrage, by the way. That might actually be a Stuka on the field. I will check up on that shortly. It might even be a firestorm. But that did quite a bit of damage there. At least forced the tanks to move back. Let's check the map. Yeah, it was just a... what was it? I just remember the name of it now. Completely forgot about it. Firestorm, that was it. From the terror ability. That is a pretty harsh ability to put down on infantry. It's not as good at taking out tanks as Rocket Barrage. And well, Rocket Barrage was so awesome in Company of Heroes Online. But then again, it was also really abused it with what would happen for those that didn't play Company of Heroes Online. Oh, don't kill the medic with Panzer Shreks. Ah, poor medic. What did he do to deserve that? King Tiger is fairly out of position now. I hope these tanks give chase. Yes! Deadbolt sees an opportunity to run and take some rear shots on the King Tiger as he's trying to retreat away. Probably would have been much better if he retreated that in reverse, but unfortunately there's no turning back now. Well, that's kind of a weird pun. He is turning back, but he can't really turn back and reverse and then turn back again. So, unfortunate for him. Machine gun going to be setting down at an unusual angle on the whatever train thingy that was, the Holderizonator, that's what I'm going to call it. Whereas the infantry, hardly any infantry up front for the Allies. They seem to be behind the tanks in most situations, and it's kind of unfortunate because a lot of Panzer Shreks have done quite a lot of damage to all the tanks so far. If they could just like maybe suppress with the bars, or I mean, we're packing a lot of munitions here for the British player, Deadbolt. He's not really been using it, but then again, what can the British really use it on? They can get upgrades for their engineers, they get pits and stuff like that. They get the upgrades for their tanks, but that only costs 10 munitions, I believe. So there's a lot of stuff that you just don't really have to spend to the Brits. So anyway, it seems like these tanks have decided to give chase a bit too much and ran into some Panthers. The Firefly is doing okay for now. The American infantry move in and do some damage to Churchill Avra, which is back in play with 10 kills. Wipes out a squad. The riflemen are going to be focusing firing onto the Panzer Shreks back here. They're moving back. They want to reinforce mortar half-track back here as well, firing. Again, I want to be avoiding that blobbing up. There we go. Morello is now scattering his infantry ever so slightly. Could do with a bit more. He is going to be taking the mortar as a reward. Swashbuckling adventure treasure. Awesome. Deadbolt now saying, Artie, where is that Artie going to be coming down? Maybe he managed to get sight of this area here. Yes, he did. He managed to stay there long enough for his teammate to put down some artillery. Unfortunately, the infantry has decided to move out of the vicinity of the area, so they won't take any casualties at all. So it's down to the riflemen yet again to defend the tanks. Hardly any veterancy on these riflemen. And I mean, that's a new rifleman squad. I don't know about the other rifleman squads out here. There's hardly any kills for any of these infantry. Morello, what's the deal, dude? Let's get some more kills going. No kills for them. No kills for them. It's like this entire army is brand spanking new. Like 2 kills for the M8 Greyhound. That's come on, dude, get back in the game. Get some kills going. Maybe he has yet to get the upgrades from the supply depot, which gives him the increased XP for infantry. I mean, even these engineers have got more kills than the regular riflemen, so maybe they're just having a really hard time keeping up with all the infantry. The Churchill Avro wipes a squad completely out of existence. Now, next up is the Fallschirmjägers. 25 kills for the Fallschirmjägers. Misty, so good with keeping his stuff alive the entire game. Panzer Elite player he is probably one of the finest Panzer Elite players I've seen so far. He's not been doing too much blobbing. He's had like 2 or 3 squads together, but bearing in mind there's 2 players he's been grouping up with his teammate. Teamwork is something the Axes have been doing. I'm not sure I'd like to comment too much on the Allies sort of play at the moment in terms of their teamwork, but unfortunately I'm commentating, so you know I kind of have to. So here's my comment on the Allies so far. They've kind of maybe just the infantry play needs to be a little bit better. We need to see a bit more flanking tactics in terms of just like having a complete surround over the enemy and their infantry, just getting those support weapons into fine positions, the machine gun, using the suppressive abilities, getting those grenades out, forcing them out of heavy cover, putting your own units into heavy cover. You can see at the moment he's in like sort of light cover. He's using the mortar at the moment to fire onto this position with the grenadiers. The vehicle moves in, the Avro fires its shot. Surprisingly, no casualties there from the Avro. Maybe, yeah, just 1 guy goes down there, but not too much damage. The weakest one dies, and therefore the whole squad will be made much squad wipe, going into a different sentence entirely there. Unfortunately, these riflemen got caught out. I think they were just exiting the building. We've got some barbed wire going down here as well to protect this victory point. And until a vehicle comes down here and removes it, the only other option is to throw some grenades down on there. Even a half-track would do it. No cat and crad. Morello saying he can't get it to his teammate Deadbolt. Probably just noticing the fact that that has been placed down there now. Oh god, yeah, even... Oh god, you know, extremely resourceful. He has a Panzerschreck. He's going to fire on the fence, the weakest part of the fence, and resume capturing that point. Good on him. That's the kind of stuff I like in Company of Heroes. You look at a problem and you say, I don't have the hard counter. How can... Oh, yes, I've got a Panzerschreck. That does damage to the environment. I can use that. That is sweet play right there. That is using your head. I really like this game so far. It's been quite surprising, but not all British and Panzer Elite games are like this. At the moment, yeah, the British are being a little bit blobby with their tanks, but it has been a line formation blob, and line formation blobs are certainly way more acceptable than blobs, just like a circular blob of stuff to bomb. Riflemen move out into the middle of the field. They are being hit by all sorts of armaments, but they are going to get this area in time just to decap it. I think they might want to retreat from the area instead of sticking around. That's what they do. You know, throws a grenade on there. Oh, that guy doesn't get out alive. Completely jibbed. No more limbs for him. Panthers on the field. More limbs being flung around. Artillery coming down on top of the Panthers. More bodies flying. Again, hold down position for the tanks. I am liking this maneuver. We have a Churchill Crocodile on the field, which is going to be exceptional at taking out infantry, but unfortunately, so are Panzerschrecks. They are going to be pretty good at taking out tanks. So it's going to be a kind of a mirror match, but so many tanks on the field. The M8 armored car, the little tank of the bunch of tanks here, definitely not really needed here. I don't think it's going to, if at all, if that comes there, I think the Panzerschrecks and the tanks will probably focus fire that first and get that out of the way before focusing firing any of the other tanks. The Panzerschrecks are doing well, but unfortunately he doesn't retreat the squad in time, so they suffer big casualties. With 45 minutes into the game, by the way, 334 points, 238 in favour of the Allies. We've seen a lot of casualties. We're going to see some more casualties. This Panther looks like it's... No, don't retreat back that way. Retreat forward into all the tanks, quite possibly. He does manage to get out of there in time, but he does suffer a main gun damage, which means until that gets fully repaired, it's pretty much going to be dead. If someone spots it, I mean, even this Churchill Avro will be able to take it down. The tanks split up for a moment there, but maybe we saw some... yeah, we saw one Sherman Firefly get taken out, so that's probably why there was a bit of a split in tanks. The Panther, the one that's full health, comes down here. I don't know why it doesn't take a few shots at the Churchill Avro, why it can, but it is being hit by another Sherman Firefly, and... oh, hiccup there. Pack 38 could reposition itself to take a few shots. Churchill Avro firing against his flames. Sticky bombs going down. The Panzerschreck from the Rifleman squad also being fired. Now it has been immobilized. I don't know if this is bad manners or not from Deadbolt. Maybe it's just a bit of friendly banter. And friendly banter is cool. We've got some happy faces going down. I like happy faces. Happy faces are the best faces. Such good manners. Okay, I'll assume everyone's being friendly, because there's, you know, there are players out there which will be kind of aggressive in a way of what they say. You know, it might come across as being mean and sort of bastardly, but they're just being, you know, like a cartoon character villain. You can have fun, good, laughable moments. You can just say to them, "Ha! You will never defeat my Churchill," and then your Churchill gets defeated, and then it's like, how did this happen? How is this possible? It's impossible. But unfortunately, that is the end of the game, which means my time is up as Anuki on Anuki TV for today. I hope you have yet again enjoyed this game. I actually quite did enjoy this game, but for now, I will say my farewells. I am Anuki.